Hello everyone, it's Mike Levin on Friday, March 6th, and when last we left off, I had just enabled my brand new install of Ubuntu 18.04 Bionic to have a Linux graphics subsystem. So there is your XIs right there. And one of the mistakes I made in doing that was from my home directory, I created a bash login. Now, where this actually works, it's still not optimal. So I'm simply going to move that bash login to .bash profile. And I should be able to check that this still works by opening another one of these and just typing XIs again. And there you have it. Bash profile and bash login are very similar, but they get used in slightly different cases. So that's the first thing I wanted to do. Now, the next thing I wanted to do is, you'll notice here that whenever I open a new shell on my older Ubuntu instance, which is a 16.04, also under WSL2, I put myself into a Python virtual environment. So there used to be this command virtual env until it got wrapped into Python. So now the new wisdom is to do Python-m venv, and then the virtual environment you want to create. And so I'm going to do that. First, let's see what Python comes by default in 18.04. I'm sure it's going to be 3.6, but we type Python. Oh, couldn't even run. I guess you gotta, let's try Python3. Yeah, okay, it comes with Python3 pre-installed, version 3.6.9. It's fairly surprising that it's not aliased already to just Python. But at any rate, I believe venv takes care of that sort of thing. So I will make a Python 3.6 virtual directory just to have a similar thing going on here on my fresh install. That way, whenever you do a pip install of some package, instead of installing it right in sort of your master operating system root, it cleans stuff up using that same, essentially chroot trick that everything uses these days, virtualization and containers. You get really good performance when you change the paths of where your operating system is booting from or looking for stuff. So that's what these virtual environments are. And we will create one. Python3 almost all of this is identical. One of my habits, I don't really know if it's a good one or not, is to always plunk my virtual environments right in my home location. And I do py36, so I always know what I'm looking at there. And Python3 venv, I probably just typed it wrong. No, I did not. Very interesting. So venv might not, in fact, be built in like the way I thought it was. Let me think that through for a second before I just jump into doing the install. But I do believe that's probably the right thing. Maybe I just didn't get the Python3 virtual environment subsystem of Python, maybe. Python3, Python, minimal. Okay, well, this is why I make these videos, right? I haven't necessarily done a run-through before. And you get to see a very genuine experience. So this is the virtual venv that belongs to the Python 3 distro I already have. looks like that should have done it. I'll do a clear, go into my command line history to where I tried to make the virtual environment and try to make it again. And what this does is it essentially dumps everything having to do with the Python 3.6 installation, including binaries and everything, into that location. So if I go to cd home, which previously had almost nothing in there, I should now see my Py3.6 location. Now I want to activate that location, and I actually want to do that as the first line in my bash profile. So we'll take a look at how these things get activated. It's going to be one of these commands. In fact, it's activate, I believe. Source. And so that's on POSIX. This is on Windows. Believe it or not, we are on POSIX. We've got to follow the POSIX instructions. So it's source space. It's going to be Py3.6/bin/activate. First, let's try it. Activate. Notice source. Activate goes at the end. I've always been a little bit not good at this sort of stuff. Source. Tilde home. Py3.6 bin activate, and we should see this change. There we go. So that's my one-liner that goes in the beginning of my bash profile that you just saw me put in place. I had originally created. If we exit out of that, you go right back to your older login. So now I do a vim .bash profile, which has that one line in there that I'm using in order for XIs and all the X server using Linux software to know where the display port is. And I put that one line in there. Now, whenever I log into this, I will be put into that virtual environment. And that is yet one more step towards having a startup on my 18.04 that is similar to my, I turned it back to default because I have a lot of stuff here I actually need, 16.04. So what I'm really doing is putting everything I need in 18.04 since it's a fresh install by kind of copying it and patterning it after my 16.04 install. And this latest one is the combination of things in order to have the graphics subsystem for Linux, which uses this VCX SRV and uses that virtual env command, which is now actually just venv, which may in fact on your fresh install need a brand new apt-get install Python3 venv. So anyway, it's mission accomplished, and thanks for joining me. Hope to see you again soon as I finish out the final few little things I do here to make this a comfortable start location for my daily workflow in Linux. See you again soon.